In a previous lesson, we created about a dozen different web pages. Each one of them happens to be a place that you might hike to and has a picture of a different lake that you might go to if you went on that hike. But what we're going to do now is we're going to add 3 more files into that folder. One, called index.html, is going to be the outer container, the frame set. In that file will contain 2 frames, and in it will load 2 separate HTML pages. On the left side, we're going to have one called menu, and on the right side, we're going to have one called main, although that's going to change. Let's first begin with the index.html file. Now you'll notice I do not have a body here, but what I do have after the head, and I don't have anything in it because it's just going to be a container element page that's going to contain the 2 other pages. The first thing I put is a frame set, which of course is an element that begins with frame set, ends with /frame set, and a couple of the attributes there are columns and rows. Now you'll notice that columns I have equal to 20%, 80%, which means that there's going to be a left side that's 20% of the screen and a right side that's 80% of the screen. In terms of the vertical, you'll see rows equals asterisk or star. That means it's a wild card, means anything, means everything. So what it comes down to is I'm going to have a left column that's 20% in width and a right column that's 80%, and they're going to just go on. Now in the first frame that I put in there, I'm going to have a source that says menu.html. So the left, which I've renamed it to be, or I've named it to be menu frame, and it's case sensitive, so there's a capital F in frame. So the frame on the left is going to be called menu frame, and the source is going to be menu.html. And then on the right side, the frame is going to be called main frame, again a capital F there, case sensitive, but the source is going to be main.html. However, that's just going to be the source when the file first loads. Main.html is really just going to be a placeholder. You'll see that in a moment. But then inside the menu.html, I've got things like my style sheet that I want to have so that we're all set there. And a lakes menu, it says H1, and then I'm going to create a little table. And in each table, I'm going to have a row. In each row, I'm going to have a cell. And in each cell, I'm going to have an anchor or a hyperlink. And that anchor in the first case is going to be href equals broomsticklake.html. Now notice I didn't put in front of broomstick lake like a .. or anything like that. That's because this file, broomsticklake.html, is going to be found in the current folder, which happens to be the hiking folder. And I put broomstick lake as the hypertext. Now of course from there, I've added another thing, target equals mainframe. See, if I didn't add target equals mainframe, when you click on that hyperlink it would open in the current frame. But this is going to be in the menu frame, and I want it to open in the main frame. That's why main.html is just going to be a temporary placeholder until you click on one of the lakes. And it's going to go all the way through for all the rest of them. The name of the lake, target equals mainframe, the hyperlink is the name of the lake. And down at the bottom, I've put an href ... /index.html, target equals top. What's that mean? That means I'm in a frame set. Index.html is the top, and beneath that are 2 frames, menu frame and main frame, which happen to load menu.html and either main.html or whatever the last lake was you clicked on. And this says, when you click on this link, home, I want you to not be in the current window, the current frame. I want you to go all the way to the top. So it's going to replace everything with /index.html, which of course is just the home page of the website. Now, when I get to the main.html page, all I've got to do there is just say click on link at left to view a lake, because that's all that's going to be is a placeholder. I could start with Broomstick Lake or some other lake, but I didn't. And again, I'll put that same hyperlink to index.html. You can see what it looks like here with all the links to the lakes on the left and main.html on the right. When I click on one of those, such as Broomstick Lake, you'll see that it pops up and shows me that on the main frame.